Friends, this time I did something I have never done before. I sat down with a pen and a blank page and I wrote every single thought that crossed my mind for one whole hour. No breaks, no filters, no distractions. Just thought after thought after thought pouring out exactly as they appeared. At first, it felt chaotic, random, almost meaningless, but as the minutes passed, something strange began to happen. The surface noise started to fade, and deeper thoughts began to rise. Emotions I hadn't touched in years, patterns I didn't know I was repeating, and then something even more unexpected. A hidden map started revealing itself. A structure, a direction, a mind-made maze I had never seen before. Friends, this was not a journaling exercise. It felt like diving into the architecture of my subconscious. And that is why this experiment is so important. Because most of us never truly watch our own minds. We live in loops. We chase peace while running from silence. But what if we could observe the mess long enough for it to make sense? In just 1 hour, I uncovered thoughts that explained my fears, my habits, even my deepest desires. And I believe if you stay with me, this journey through my raw, uncensored mind might just reflect your own. So don't skip this video because what you are about to witness is not just a mental experiment. It's a window into how our inner world works beneath the noise, behind the masks, and under the stories we keep telling ourselves. So let's begin. Friends, at first it was chaotic, noisy, useless, almost funny. Thoughts started to rise in my mind like I don't know what to write. Okay, let's try this. Should I check my phone? My handwriting sucks. I hope no one ever reads this. Maybe I will stop in 10 minutes. And I wrote them all on a paper. My mind jumped like a monkey from one branch to another. It was clutter. It was resistance. It was discomfort. But I kept going. About 15 minutes in, something shifted. The noise softened, the filters dropped. The deeper voice within me began to speak. Why do I care so much what others think? Why cannot I just be happy? Why do I need validation? I miss when life was simpler. I just want peace, but I don't know how to find it. And then some surprising positive sparks peeked through. Like I have been through a lot and I'm still here. Maybe I don't have to be perfect to be loved. Even when I fall, I always get back. I wasn't just writing thoughts anymore, I was peeling off layers, touching memories, touching wounds and healing them just a little with honesty. Friends, somewhere between 25 and 40 minutes, the hidden map started to draw itself. Not on paper, but in my awareness. Repetitive loops surfaced. I wrote thoughts on paper like I need to be perfect to be loved. I always compromise. What if I fail again? If I try, I will fail. If I don't try, I will regret it. I crave validation more than I admit. I have been replaying the same fears for years. These were not just random thoughts. They were patterns, old programs. The same broken code repeating in different areas of life. Relationships, work, confidence, boundaries. It was all connected. And there were moments, small, precious moments where light entered. Like I'm starting to notice my patterns. I don't need to earn love. Even with all my flaws, I try, I love, I care. This was the hidden map. a blueprint of my emotional operating system, and it had been silently controlling my actions, reactions, choices for years. I was finally seeing it. And then the biggest crack appeared. A question arrived, not from thought, but from awareness. Questions like, if I can observe my thoughts, who is the one watching? Then I sat still, pen in hand, and I realized I am not my thoughts. I am the one watching them. Thoughts appeared in my mind like I don't have to believe every thought. Peace is not something to chase, it's already here. I don't need to control everything. Friends, there was a strange freedom in this detachment. Not a disconnection, but a soft, quiet liberation. I was no longer trapped inside my thoughts. I was witnessing them like clouds passing across the sky. This was more than journaling. It was meditation. It was therapy. It was awakening. Friends, it was not just paper anymore. It was not just ink. It had become a mirror. And in that mirror, something unexpected emerged. Not a single truth, but a map. Not drawn with lines and symbols, but with wounds, with patterns, with longing, with whispers I had ignored for years. This was not a map of where I had been. This was a map of how I had become me. Let me show you what I mean. Friends, at the beginning, my thoughts were cluttered, shallow, and distracted. Thoughts like, should I check my phone? I don't know what to write. My handwriting sucks. Or maybe I will stop after 10 minutes. This was the fog. It was the mind's armor, its defense system, built from years of escaping stillness. It was like standing at the edge of a dense forest where every leaf whispers a lie to keep you from entering. Nothing deep here. Turn back, scroll instead, sleep instead, and escape. But something in me kept walking forward. About 15 minutes in, I fell into a flow, not of distraction, but of emotion. Thoughts appeared like, why do I need validation? Why cannot I just be happy? I miss when life was simpler, and I wish someone truly understood me. Friends, I realized I had been carrying so much that I never admitted. Loneliness, guilt, craving to be seen, longing to forgive myself. And still, beneath all that, tiny lights flickered, like I have survived wars. I'm still trying. Maybe I don't have to be perfect to be loved. Friends, these were not just thoughts, they were emotional fingerprints left by every version of me that had cried in silence and kept walking. I was not breaking down, I was breaking open. Then came the most uncomfortable part, the part where the map began to form, and I didn't like what I saw. It was, I always think I need to earn love. If I try, I will fail. If I don't try, I will regret it. I keep going back to people who hurt me. I hate confrontation, so I stay silent. It hit me. I had been living inside loops, like invisible software, programs I didn't know were running me, scripts I didn't write but kept performing, roles I didn't choose but kept playing. I was not making choices, my patterns were. But that realization, that was the first step out of the maze. Like, I feel stuck, but I know I'm growing. I keep repeating old patterns, but I'm starting to notice them. And awareness? Awareness is the beginning of freedom. And then something mystical happened. A thought rose up like a question I had never dared to ask. If I can observe my thoughts, who is the one watching. And just like that, a veil lifted. I had spent most of my life inside the mind, arguing with it, fixing it, running from it, but I had never once turned around and looked at the one who was watching it all. It was silent, still, unmoving, unafraid. The real me, the witness, the presence, the one who doesn't speak in thoughts but in knowing, who is not caught in drama but sees through it, the eternal listener behind the noise. And for a brief moment, I didn't just find peace, I remembered that I am peace. Friends, this was not just a journal session. It was a journey inward. And this map, this strange, beautiful, messy map, was not made of places. It was made of wounds I needed to heal, beliefs I needed to break, truths I needed to remember. It showed me that I have mistaken noise for identity, that I have chased perfection just to feel loved, that I have feared silence because it reveals the truth, that deep within the loops of thought there is a doorway, a portal, and through it lies the real me, the unchanging watcher, the compassionate observer, the one untouched by fear but full of knowing. Friends, I went in expecting chaos. I came out with clarity. I wrote down every thought for 1 hour and it showed me a map that no GPS ever could. A map not to success, not to perfection, but to wholeness, to the forgotten center of myself. Thank you for watching.